Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is TabbyLoves. I'm Tabitha and we talk to you about the things that I love. Today we're going to be doing the first episode of my monthly series exploring Smut, and this month we're going to be doing Ice Planet Barbarians. This series has been popular for a very long time, as long as I've been in the bookish space since returning after college. Not when I was a kid, because it just wasn't. But as an adult returning to the bookish space, this book has been popular. So, and I've never read it. So this will be a fun experience to kind of see if what the hype is all about. If it's really as hot as people say. And it's relatively short. That's my goal for this series, is we're going to be reading relatively short books that are basically just PWP. I'm looking for less than 200 pages. If you have any recommendations, feel free to leave them in the comments. And let's get started. It does start out. It does give you a small list of trigger warnings. Very small. There's like 5 things on this list. I have read through them. I don't have any triggers, period. So, you know, I'm down for basically anything, but it's important, especially when you're getting into books that, like, sexy books like this, that if there is a trigger warning list, that you pay attention to it. If you know you have triggers, and because you never know sometimes what might be in these stories, which is why they include the trigger warning list. And if the book doesn't include it, sometimes I still encourage you to go and look it up. But yeah. So this is the way that this video is going to be different than the other videos I'm going to post on, like, my TikTok and stuff. Is the TikTok is just going to be my reaction at the end of the book and my overall thoughts. This video, I'm going to try to film myself reading as much as possible. I'll be checking in as I'm reading. And so I'll see you in a minute as I start the beginning of this book. I hate the name Georgie for a female main character. And it's probably like a nickname for, like, I don't know, like Georgina or something, but Georgie for a main female character is awful. I hate that. Right off the bat, I'm a little iffy about the writing style, though it's not awful. Like, it's doable. Like, it's definitely something I'm gonna get used to, but it's a little bit, like, the way the descriptions are written is a little bit weird. And the main character only has, like, the basics of a personality, but being only a few pages in, that's not necessarily anything new. You know, it's not necessarily anything unique. So far so good. I will say, though, the chapters in this book are entirely too long. And I hope that there's going to be more obvious breaks in this, because I am not going to be reading a 46-minute long chapter in one go. I mean, I could, but I'm probably not going to, but it is what it is. Another thing right now, why does the main character keep focusing on how this girl that's talking to her smell like? Like, she had already said that, oh, she's starting to see why it smells like sewage in this jail she's being kept in after being abducted, and then she says, oh, Liz doesn't smell that good herself, or Liz's scent isn't exactly pleasant, and then literally on the next page she does say that her scent is sweaty but human. I'm like, why do you keep smelling her? Why do you keep smelling her? Why do you keep telling us what she smells like? Why? Luckily, it doesn't go into that many details, but definitely just at the beginning, there are a few girls essayed by the aliens that are currently holding them captive. But then they decide to just release their entire cargo hold full of all of the girls, and now they're crash landing on the planet that I'm gonna just assume is the Ice Planet Barbarian planet. I gotta say, they kept on talking about how, oh, it's important that they have the girls in the tubes and everyone else is just extras or whatever, because there's some sort of human trafficking thing. But then why did they release the entire hold that has everybody in it? Because that means they're definitely, like, coming back. And, like, if they go back for the girls, then the question is, well, then why did they release them in the first place? stuff I'm sure will be addressed. And if it's not, then oh well, I guess. That's the thing about books like this. Sometimes there's some things that you just have to accept. That's how it happens. And you move on with your life. Okay, you guys, it's time for an Ice Planet Barbarian update. It's been a few days since my last update. I have been busy. I have gone back to work. Though I can't really show my uniform on camera. It's part of my contract, right? So I didn't film myself reading these past few days because I mostly was reading on my way to work and during lunch at work. So that being said, I'm like 60% of the way through it now. It's a short book, so I've made some decent progress, and quite a few things happened. So let me recap for y'all. She meets the guy that's basically the MMC, right? And he starts by I'm trying to think of how to word this so that it's appropriate for YouTube. He feasts on her, right? And she's like, maybe this is a greeting. And then they spend a couple days with him taking care of her, and they go back for the other girls. And then they get them kind of sorted. Like they're like, oh, here's some meat, here's some warmth. We have to go back to his tribe and get a bunch of the best hunters to come back and bring you guys to safety, because none of y'all can walk. Not a very good situation. However, what I want to talk about is two things. First off, this woman is able to take this man who is 7 feet tall, and she has said more well endowed than any man on earth, and look with impressive girth, all of that. She's able to take this man with no prepping, like no fingers, you know, like no stretching, like she's just like, oh, you know, it's wet, let's do this. Like, it kind of stresses me out. Kids know, or not kids, there should be no kids watching this video, but young adults note, if you're going to be taking a large guy, even a human large guy, you need to be prepped, okay? There needs to be some stretching going on first. You know, you kind of have to go like you have to go small, and you have to increase it slowly before you take him, because otherwise you will tear down there, and it would not be a fun experience. And then it moves on to the next thing, that this is heavily implying that they're gonna have kids, right? That she's definitely gonna get pregnant. Don't ask me how that works. Maybe it's a coincidence that they both share the same amount of chromosomes or something, or their DNAs match close enough, I guess. Maybe. So they could have kids, I guess. But her being, they didn't say how tall she was, right? Both said she's an average size female, 5'4", 5'5". Still taking a 7 foot tall baby. I mean, I know the baby's not gonna be 7 foot tall, but from a man that's 7 foot tall, described as huge all over, having his baby, there is a reason that when we breed Pomeranian Husky mixes, the female has to be the Husky. Because if you take a female Pomeranian and you have her have, like, you know, with a male Husky, and she gets pregnant, those puppies are too big for her, and it's dangerous. But of course this book's not going to address that at all. I just want that out there as a disclaimer as I continue on. And the one other thing is now she's telling this guy, like, oh, I can't be your mate. Like, I don't even know if I want to stay. Why not? Why not? Honestly, if I crash landed on an alien planet and I found out it was far, super far from Earth, I would have given up on going home. I'd be like, I found a man that does nothing but worship me and wants nothing but keeping me happy. Why not? I'd be like, fine, yeah, I'll fucking stay. I don't give a fuck. Honestly, even if there was a way directly back to Earth, y'all have seen Earth, right? Like, I'm happy staying there. I know it's cold, but once you get the little, like, was it Queen? Was it something like that, Queen? Once you get the little, like, symbiote in you, like, the temperature shouldn't feel as cold and you'll be fine. So, it's a win-win in my book. Good morning, everybody. I finished it. I finished it yesterday, and now it's time for me to tell you my overall thoughts. Let's explore this book. Okay, so I was a little bit on the fence when I first started, right? I don't know if you could tell from the video, but I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I didn't like the initial aliens, but I know I wasn't supposed to, so it was kind of okay. I didn't know how I felt about any of the characters. Like, I was like, they feel a little bit two-dimensional, a little bit gimmicky, but that improved as the story went on, right? I kind of had like a rough idea of what the Smut was gonna be like, and I was right. You know, it wasn't anything crazy. The crazy part was just that they were, that it was an alien, but they weren't doing anything extraordinary. It was like the typical positions, But despite that, I still had a really good time. I ended up giving this book a 5 stars. And now I do rate depending on like the genre specifically. So because this was just a smut book, it's a 5 stars for a smut book. It's like, would it compare to like my 5-star fantasy rates? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if you want good smut, now that being said, again, read the trigger warnings beforehand. Most of the stuff that's triggering happens at the beginning, but you never know. There's a few things that happens that is technically like Doobie's consent. Like, she didn't fully consent, but once she was aware what was happening, she was like all for it, sort of thing. The language barrier thing was fun. I kind of digged it. And then I liked it even more once they could understand each other and she could actually explain what was going on. I was worried it was going to drag out the, oh, will she leave or will she stay thing too long? But I already told you, like, I would have stayed in a heartbeat. I wouldn't have had to think about it. I was like, it would have been way too hard to try to get back to Earth anyway. And, yeah. And again, like I already talked about, there are some, like, there was the thing with that he didn't prep her, right? The only thing that would be even more annoying by the fact that he didn't prep her down there to take how big he was is if it was, in the other hole. Because unprepped that way, even worse. Like, there is no real lubricant, or even just putting on any kind of lubricant is not enough, right? But that didn't happen in this book, particularly. Now, there is a chance that I will read the next one. I don't know if I should read the next one next month as that Exploring Smut month book, but I kind of want to do different series, The whole point of Exploring Smut is to explore different kinds. So I probably, like, if I do read more of the series, I probably won't record it and post it here. But that being said, though, I probably will end up reading more of that series because I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, yeah, that was my thoughts. That was Exploring Smut. Was it hot? Yeah, this one indeed was hot. Thank you all for joining me on this journey. Give me recommendations for which book I should read in February. Like, my friend did send me a recommendation, so if no one else says anything, I'm gonna go with that one. Just because it's gonna be kind of funny. It's gonna be kind of fun, I think. But anyway, like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you guys. Bye.